There is a lie that has been told for generations. A comforting illusion that separates the man from the monster. A way to make sense of something that was never meant to be understood. The lie is that Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader were two different people. That one was light, and the other was dark. That one was a hero, and the other was a villain. But the truth is far more unsettling. Anakin Skywalker did not fall to the dark side. He did not transform. He did not lose himself. He simply became what he always was. From the moment he was born, there was a shadow inside him. It was not placed there by the Sith. It was not a result of war. It was something deeper, something woven into the very fabric of his existence. The Jedi tried to mold him into their perfect champion. They wanted him to be a guardian of peace, a servant of balance. But they never realized that what they were truly doing was delaying the inevitable. He was not meant to be their savior. He was not meant to be their hope. He was meant to destroy them. And the greatest tragedy of all is that he never even had a choice. Every decision he made, every path he walked, every betrayal, every loss, it was all leading to the same place. He was not fighting against the darkness. He was following it home. Because the darkness was not something that corrupted him. It was something that completed him. And yet, history tells a different story. A story of a man who was redeemed, of a soul that was saved, of a light that returned in the end. But what if that story was wrong? What if the redemption of Anakin Skywalker was not a return, but an illusion? What if the person we thought was saved was never lost to begin with? What if everything we have ever believed about Anakin Skywalker was a carefully crafted lie? In this video, we will uncover the truth. The truth that Anakin Skywalker was never the hero the Jedi thought he was. That Darth Vader was never a separate entity, but the real identity buried beneath the surface. That everything from the Clone Wars to the fall of the Republic was not the rise of a Sith Lord, but the revelation of a man's true nature. And by the end, you may realize that Anakin Skywalker was never lost, because the truth is, he was always Darth Vader. The prophecy was a cruel trick, a whisper in the dark that Anakin clung to like a lifeline. The Jedi saw a boy with raw power and convinced themselves he was their savior, a force to bring balance, a warrior who would erase the shadow of the Sith. They placed that weight on his shoulders before he even understood what it meant to carry it. But the prophecy was never a gift. It was a curse wrapped in the illusion of destiny. Anakin was not chosen by the Force. He was made by it, sculpted in a way no Jedi could understand. He was not balance, he was destruction. The moment he took his first breath, the galaxy began counting down to its reckoning. The Jedi trained him to be something he never was. A calm servant of their order. A man who would obey without question. But they never asked themselves what would happen when a being like him was forced to suppress who he truly was. He was never at peace, because peace was never a part of him. He was a storm pretending to be the sky, and they ignored the warnings. They ignored his anger. They ignored the way his soul burned hotter than any Jedi before him. He was never Anakin Skywalker. That was just a name they gave him. The truth was always hiding underneath. The Jedi Code was supposed to be his foundation, a set of rules to keep him steady. But rules mean nothing to a man who was born outside of them. Anakin was not raised in a temple. He was raised in slavery. He understood pain before he understood peace. He knew fear before he knew hope. He never lived by the rules of the Jedi, because his life had already taught him that rules were just words meant to control, and yet they expected him to let go. Let go of attachment, let go of fear, let go of love. But how do you let go of the very things that make you who you are? The Jedi wanted him to deny his past, to strip away the emotions that defined him. They wanted him to cut himself in half and pretend the missing pieces never existed. So he lied, he wore their robes, he recited their oaths. He became a Jedi not because he believed in their ways, but because he believed it was the only way to keep what mattered to him safe. He loved Padme, he loved his mother, he loved his master, and every day he was told that love was a weakness. But for Anakin, love was the only thing keeping him from falling apart. And the moment he felt that love slipping away, the mask of a Jedi began to crack. The moment he saw the limits of their teachings, he started to see the truth. He was never meant to be their perfect knight. He was something else entirely. Something the Jedi never saw coming. They call it a fall, as if he tripped and landed in the arms of the dark side. But that is not what happened. He did not fall. He was pulled, dragged toward it by forces stronger than his own will. It did not happen in a moment. It happened over years. Every scar, every loss, every doubt. It all built into something he could no longer resist. The anger was never new. It had been there since Tatooine. It had been there since his mother died in his arms. It had been there since the day he realized the Jedi would never give him what he truly needed, and the Sith knew it. They saw what the Jedi refused to see. They saw a man who would do anything to protect the ones he loved. They saw someone who did not fear power, but instead feared losing control of it. And that is why he never hesitated. Not when he struck down Dooku. Not when he slaughtered the Jedi. Not when he bowed before his new master and took the name Darth Vader. Because the truth was, that name was not a new identity. It was his real name, finally being spoken aloud. He was not becoming someone else. He was finally becoming himself. The galaxy thinks of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader as two separate people, but they are not. They never were. Anakin did not die in that temple. He did not die on Mustafar. He was never meant to be anything other than what he became. They say he was redeemed, that Luke saved him, that he turned back to the light in the end. But did he? Did Anakin Skywalker return in his final moments? Or did Darth Vader simply break free from the chains of his own regret? He did not turn because he saw the error of his ways. He turned because he saw the only thing left that he could save. His son stood before him, beaten and broken, refusing to fall to the same darkness that had ruled his own life. In that moment, it was not about light or dark. It was about choice. And for the first time in decades, he made a choice that was not born out of fear or rage. But that does not erase what he was. It does not change the years of war. It does not bring back the lives he took. One moment of mercy does not wipe away a lifetime of destruction. The galaxy may have forgiven him. Luke may have forgiven him. But the truth remains. Anakin Skywalker was always Darth Vader, and Darth Vader was always Anakin Skywalker. Redemption does not mean erasure. It does not mean absolution. It simply means the story ended differently than he expected. His name echoes across history, but no one truly understands him. To the Jedi, he is their greatest failure. To the Sith, he is their greatest weapon. To the galaxy, he is a legend carved in blood and fire. But legends do not tell the truth. They twist it. They turn men into myths and actions into stories. The real Anakin Skywalker was not a hero. He was not a villain. He was something far more dangerous. He was a man who did not fit into either world. A warrior too powerful to be controlled, too emotional to be reasoned with, and too devoted to ever let go of what he cared about. The Jedi feared him because he was everything they could not be. The Sith desired him because he was everything they wished to become. But neither side ever truly understood him. And that is why he was doomed from the start. Because Anakin Skywalker was never meant to belong to anyone. Not to the Jedi, not to the Sith, not even to himself. He was a force of nature, wearing the mask of a man. And once the mask was gone, there was nothing left but the storm. The galaxy will never know the real truth. They will tell stories of a boy who became a monster, and a monster who became a hero. But neither of those stories are real. The truth is simple. Anakin Skywalker did not become Darth Vader. He always was Darth Vader. The name was irrelevant. The robes, the armor, the code, the teachings, none of it mattered. What mattered was the heart of the man beneath it all. And that heart was never at peace. He was always searching, always reaching, always trying to find something to fill the void inside him. The Jedi could not give it to him. The Sith could not give it to him. And in the end, not even his own son could give it to him, because it was never something he could receive. It was something he lost long ago. The galaxy will remember Anakin Skywalker, however they choose. Some will see a hero, some will see a villain. But the truth is, he was both. And he was neither. Because in the end, there was no Anakin Skywalker. There was no Darth Vader. There was only the man who was always meant to be both.